Canadian or Canadian-born.
So two certified engineers, the South Asian is going to be paid less.
And this gap has worsened from 1960s to 1990s.
Even though the population has increased as a percentage.
And even though we've made efforts to break down barriers and bring more equality and fairness.
Now, that's astonishing.
Absolutely.
To me, that
Absolutely.
there's a it should be the job receives the compensation, and the personality
and
does have a lot does have something to do with it, but that's astonishing to me. And I guess I'm asking you, because your study says unlocking this potential, who holds the key?
Well, in terms of action, naturally, at the end of the day, the governments. I hope that it comes to the top of their political agenda. I hope that there is a realization that first and foremost, we need to take proper infrastructure into these areas. I call them the economic valleys. And secondly, I believe that cultural connection between these valleys and real Canada is very important, because at the end of the day, allow me to just explain it for a second.
Just real Canada?
Yes, because in this study there was a very interesting thing, and when I've used that quotation, one of the successful South Asians said that you should come and stand on a bus stop in the neighborhood of Don Valley West, and you'll suddenly get a feeling that people wake up in Pakistan or India and go to work in Canada and come back to India or Pakistan. And to me, I didn't feel proud of that, because I genuinely think that another wrinkle of, because it's a complex paradigm, so you know all complex paradigms need some reading. There are wrinkles in it. And one of the wrinkles is to understand what has multiculturalism done to us, and have we used it to create ghettos? Have we used it to create equality? What is happening here? Because you know, the economic paradigm, the economic numbers are telling us a little bit of a dismal picture. Right. Whereas we want to paint better picture. So there's a disconnect there, and I think somebody has to
opportunities.
If you were in Iraq or Pakistan or Afghanistan and were suddenly faced with an emergency situation that required emergency surgery, now I'm changing the subject.
Clearly.
Would you have any qualifications about a surgeon from either of those three countries performing the surgery on you?
I would just say, for God's sakes, I don't care about certification. Give me help.
Does that mean
and if my grandmother in North Bay is dying and she's in pain, I'd say, I don't care. If this guy has operated on 600 people in Baghdad, okay, let him in. You know, so, but that's me, you know,
well, that's probably the facts.
And he doesn't actually have a grandmother in North Bay, but
so are you saying that the problem really isn't the certification of individuals, even if that certification came faster and was available broadly, that it's systemic, that there's something else as a roadblock here? It's just not the bureaucracy working through the bureaucracy?
I think we all have to be blamed for it. It's a shared responsibility, and therefore it's a shared blame as well. And I think that it's not been on the top of the political agenda at any tier. Different organizations who monitor certification and preside over these bodies, associations, and schools and colleges have not understood the problem and the capacity. There's a potential here. They have resources. It's low-hanging fruit. They have not reached out to it.
Okay, but if this hasn't been addressed by parties of all stripes, federally, provincially, when that community has representatives, and if they don't feel it's important enough to address, is it that important?
Is it only their responsibility?
Is it that important if they don't take the lead on it?
Well, it is important. If they don't take lead on it, then you see, I'm a big believer that things that are important have to be done. The choice is ours. If we do them in time, there's less pain and more gain. If we wait, there is more pain and possibly less gain. As a Canadian, you know, I'm selfish. I want less pain and more gain. So let's just put it that way.
Well,
like
and I think
every
you're
other
not talking.
Canadian.
To be clear, Azmi, you're not talking about just laws, but actually practices, and that's where all of us as employers negotiate wage rates and charge rentals or whatever. So it's up to every single person in terms of their dealings to understand what their cultural biases are.
So what are you going to do to bring forward some of these great ideas?
I think today's talk is a step forward.
What are you going to do?
I'll continue.
You're the expert. You wrote this great document. What are you going to do?
I'll continue in my humble capacity. I'll continue the discourse on. We do this thing every month, which is Salon Camden. It's a little gathering of 50, 60, 70 you know, people. They're generally from Toronto. Paddy comes here from Burlington as well. And we pick up different subjects, and we talk, and we agree, and we disagree, and we walk back home thinking about it. And I think at the end of the day, everything begins from that. We need to think.
We need to think, and Azmi, thank you for challenging our thinking and for making us more aware. And this report is available on, I think
This
there's
is
a website.
online. This is available on the Martin Prosperity Institute's website.
Oh, perfect.
And also, I think, on Salon Camden's website as well.
Perfect.
So,
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for watching our show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.